The truth I embrace, Shinnok, is that mercy is wasted on those who defile Earthrealm. I will destroy our enemies before they destroy us, starting with you.
So, how did your voice acting career start?
Well, I originally went to Los Angeles to be an on-camera actor, and I did a lot of on-camera. I did a lot of soaps and different TV shows and some movies and stuff like that. And my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, had just done some movie that they had done, and they had another movie they didn't like the voices in. They were going to replace the voices, and they were going to have auditions. And she said, "Can I bring my boyfriend?" And they said, "Sure." And that was me. So I went in there, and the guy said, "Have you ever done this before?" And I said, "Oh, I've done it lots of times. I never did it before in my life." And I went in there, and we were dubbing, which means we were basically replacing the dialogue of the original dialogue. And so I went in there, and because I'm a drummer also, there's a kind of rhythm to this stuff, and I kind of took to it. And the combination of being a drummer and an actor, it really kind of was very simple for me, whereas a lot of people have great difficulty doing this because there is a rhythm to it. I got the lead in that movie. I replaced the guy's voice, and they had a bunch of other projects they had me do. And from that, I got into Robotech. And then Robotech kind of blew up, and it was the first time they had a show like that on network television. It was like a big deal. And I just started working after that, from show, and I've been working nonstop for 35 years ever since then. So it's pretty crazy. And just been very, very fortunate and done some great characters. I've done over 600 characters in animation, games, and anime. And it's been a lot of fun, I gotta say, yeah.
You've been working longer than I've been born.
Yeah, see,
So I'm
only 35 myself, so I don't know how that's possible.
See that you're working magic in the universe. Magical.
I have been doing this a long time, that's true.
Yeah, 35 years, that's like the dream. So to actually be able to work is something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. Believe me, it's not lost on me. I'm very fortunate. There's a lot of people that don't like the jobs they have or don't want to go to work and they have to do it. And I'm just very lucky. I enjoy what I do, and I get to play and have fun and meet great people and travel around the world. It's been very, very nice. Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say was the most memorable character you had the opportunity to play?
Out of the 600?
Yeah.
Well, there's a few of them. I can't really level it down to one, but Bato. I love Bato in Ghost in the Shell. He's one of my favorites. I love doing Jostar in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He was a really fun character. Raiden in Mortal Kombat. The new one just came out, Mortal Kombat 11, which is a huge success, and Ansem in Kingdom Hearts, which is another huge success. Two of the #1 games this year, actually. There's so many characters. Jigen in Lupin the Third, and I direct a lot of those shows, so those are a lot of fun. There's the Joker, obviously.
Yeah, that was the fun one.
Yeah, he's an incredible character. So many. I've been so fortunate to play Raiden. I think I mentioned him already, but yeah, there's a lot of characters. It's kind of hard to say them all, but yeah, those are probably my top ones.
You just named half of my childhood,
Right.
right? Like just over the top of your head, so I found that kind of interesting. Okay, so you said you've done some directing work.
Yeah.
So do you prefer to actually be behind the scenes on projects or actually be the voice for a character?
I love it both, and I'm once again very fortunate to be able to do both. There's periods of time where I'm doing a lot of voice work and I'm missing the directing, and then there's times where I'm directing a lot and I'm missing the voice work. So I'm very, very fortunate to be able to do both, and I really enjoy doing both of them, and they're both very gratifying. And it's been fun. When I do something like Lupin, I get to do direct and voice, so that's kind of nice. And I've done a few different shows like that where I've been the director on the show, and then I have a character or two that I'm doing in the show as well. So it's always fun to do that as well.
Get to wear different hats on one project.
Yeah.
I would imagine that would be kind of interesting.
I'm schizophrenic.
That might actually work in your favor.
Yeah, I think you have to be a little schizophrenic to do this work.
Yeah, you kind of have to be. You have to be a little bit out of your mind to like get into the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
At least I think so.
True. That's true.
Okay, this is a good question. Okay, so I don't know if you would be interested in maybe sharing some secrets of the sauce. What are like as a like maybe a casting director? What type of things are they looking to get out of a voice talent like when they're casting for a project?
When something comes in, well, you know, I'm always looking for someone who's a good actor, you know, not just someone who's doing a voice. There's got to be something behind the voice, you know, and you want someone who's going to bring life to the page, who's going to come in and see the script and bring it to life. And you know, that's really the biggest trick of this voice acting world is that because so many times we go in the booth and we haven't seen the script. So you only see the script a lot of times with the games and the anime. You don't see the script until you're in the booth. So you basically have to go in there and cold read a performance, and that's really tough. And a lot of people have a hard time with it. And I've had to direct a lot of big celebrities and things like that, people on TV and films, and they're terrible at this. You know, I'm not going to say all of them are terrible. There's some that are very good at it and can do it very well, but there's a lot of them that are just terrible at it because it's a different kind of acting. It's like saying someone's a dancer who dances kabuki, but that doesn't mean they can do ballet. You know what I mean? And for some reason, producers have it in their head. They go, "Oh, if you're an actor, you can do everything." It's like, no, you really can't. It's a different style of acting. And voice acting is, I think, maybe more akin to theater acting in a way than it is to film acting. Of course, it depends on the project. Some projects, they want it to be very natural and real, and some projects, they want it to be what I call heightened reality, which is, you know, a little bigger than life. Which most of the games are a little heightened reality. But what I'm looking for someone who's going to get in there and be easy to work with and do a good job and be conscientious and polite and those sorts of things. And thankfully, you know, a lot of people in this industry are that way. So you know, and sometimes you get a bunch of people in an audition, and they're all so very good. You just kind of have to figure out what it is about this particular audition that brings that character to life, that particular character that you're trying to cast. You know, and sometimes that's subjective. You know, I could like one person over, you could like a different person, you could like a different person. I mean, it's subjective, although I would be right. But you know, it is. It's you never know. You never know in this business. It's kind of crazy, you know.
So I have a question to kind of like build off of that. So would there be a situation where you pick a voice actor that voice might complement the rest of the cast members better, or is it just strictly on their performance during the audition?
Well, that's a really good question. And once again, it really depends on the project. You know, if it's something where you're putting a family together and you want that family to sound a certain way, or you want them to, you know, be simpatico with each other, I mean, that's something you would probably take into consideration. It really depends on what it is you're casting and what you're looking for. You know, and sometimes, you know, it's not always just up to me. Sometimes it is just up to me, which I like. Sometimes you have to deal with clients or producers, and they have their input, and they'll like certain things, you know, a certain way, and you'll go, really like that one? Okay, you know. So it just depends. You know, it's kind of a grab bag, you know.
So would you say the process was slightly different, like versus if you were directing on an anime project, like maybe an American animation versus a video game? Is the casting process different?
Well, the only difference is that, you know, when you're doing a original animation, you're going to be basically just bringing a character to life and reading the script. When you're doing anime, it's something that's already been created, so you're going to have somebody who can do the lip sync. So that figures into it too. You can get somebody in there who does a great performance, but if they can't fit that performance into the lip sync, it's going to be a problem, you know. So you want to get somebody who can kind of do both of those things. And actually dubbing is a lot more difficult than doing original animation, and it pays a lot less. So figure that deal out. That doesn't make any sense, but that's the way it works. But yeah, no, I mean, you know, once again, it really depends on the project.
Okay, I was at one point curious, like I wanted to actually get into voice acting, and
We have a unique voice.
I hear that, but I've also gotten that I'm from New York. I got like you sound like a heavy New York accent and things of that nature. So I actually like went to school to like become an engineer and possibly like get into ADR work, so I can actually do like help with the dubbing and like sound effects and all of that.
Yeah.
So when I'm like kind of like watching projects and stuff, I'm listening from like an experienced ear, and then also like listening and absorbing stuff from like the perspective of a fan. And I can't really turn that off, but it's always like kind of interesting to hear with somebody that has a ton of experience, like what they have to say about stuff like that.
Well, one of the most enjoyable jobs I've had in my career was I was a ADR supervisor for DreamWorks and Universal Pictures, and I went all over the world and I supervised wonderful films like Gladiator and Galaxy Quest and Chicken Run and Madagascar and those kind of all over the world, and that was great. I did that for a year. That was fantastic. So, I mean, that's something, you know, that's the kind of job you could maybe do, you know.
That sounds fun. I'm gonna see how this like works out. I kind of just like rolled into this like whole.
But I wouldn't give up on the voice thing just yet, because you do have a, you know, it's true. You may have a, you know, a heavy accent or whatever. I don't know. I don't really hear a super heavy accent, but I'm just saying, if people tell you that, oh, you have an accent or whatever, but sometimes that works in your favor depending on if the character you're doing. You know, it could be the right. If it's the right fit, it could work very well. So, you know, I don't listen to people. You know, when I first came to Los Angeles, I'm very tall, and people said to me, "Oh, you'll never work. You're too tall." And I worked all the time, and they said, "Oh, you work all the time because you're tall." So don't listen to people. They'll tell you all kinds of crap. You know, just if there's something you want to do, go for it. You know, go for it and work hard, and you know, why not?
I think I've also heard that before. I've had I've taken some classes, and then I've done some workshops, and then I kind of like, I guess my direction kind of just like switched and changed like gears to like the behind the scenes type of stuff. But I'm thinking about maybe actually trying to pursue that again.
Yeah, why not? You know, if someone says, well, you know, you can play that certain kind of character, well, yeah, but maybe that person can't play the kind of character you could play, you know? So, you know, I wouldn't worry about it. Listen, not everybody's going to do everything, and not, you know, there's certain people that are, you know, more are better for certain characters or whatever. But you know, like I say, you get the right character to be a good fit. So, you know.
I'm gonna definitely keep that in mind. If it does pop up, I'm gonna tell everybody how you basically helped me. Help me out with this.
I hope so.
I will scream that to the mountaintops.
All right, good.
What was a memorable moment from a convention
Oh,
that
from
you've
a
been to?
convention?
Yeah, like maybe like a fan meeting, or maybe like a panel that you did, or.
Well, you know, and I can't think of a specific thing, but I have to say the overall thing that I really enjoy is when, well, I had a girl here at this convention actually come up to me and she said, you know, I suffer from depression, and she said, and the only thing that helps me is watching Lupin the Third. And so I thought, wow, you know, it's nice to be part of something, because we go and we do these voices and we don't think that much of it, but it's nice to be part of something that actually helps somebody and makes them feel better, you know. So that made me feel good, and I've heard that from other people, and you know, people will come up to me, they go, you know, because of Robotech, I did the military, or you know, I did, you know, certain things, you know, those things blow me away, because you know, like I say, we're just in there doing these little characters, and we don't think it's going to, you know, impact people like it does, and when people come up to me and go, you know, you made me feel better, or you helped me from this show we worked on, it's like, wow, that's really cool. I mean, so that makes me feel good.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Pro, it's nappy roots till my heart stop. That's why my heart in my art, so it can't stop.